Hey guys, thanks for being here. I'm John Rittar from WatchSpec.com. Today I want to start our discussion on the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. This is reference number H70455133. That's the 38 millimeter diameter option. This watch has a legacy. It's got a strong American backbone with military history, and now it's Swiss made. It's just a great value in this timepiece. But there's a lot of great options in the field watch market. Watch this video to see my review of this watch and if I recommend this over all the rest. Okay, we will be looking at this watch through the following categories. So one is just a quick model overview, then style, comfort, movement and accuracy, usability, and then wrapping it up with value and verdict. Please visit WatchSpec.com to find a written review that accompanies this video. It will include some additional information and additional photos not shown in this video. I also want to request that you subscribe and sign up for notifications so you can make sure that you catch all the great content that I have planned to release in the future. Okay, with that, let's dive into the review. Okay, model overview. I just wanted to quickly touch on this. Hamilton has American roots. They were started back in America, in Pennsylvania, back in 1892. They produced watches for the U.S. military starting in 1914, supplied through World War II before moving production to Switzerland and merging with the Swatch Group. But the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic is a throwback to their military heritage. Let's move on to style. For that, we're going to take a closer look at this watch. We're going to flip the camera around. Okay, let's get into style. So you can see how this watch wears on my wrist. Fits very nicely on my wrist. Really stylish. But let's dive into that style. Starting with the case, the diameter we're looking at is 38 millimeters. We have a thickness of 10 millimeters. That's a very slim case. The width between the lugs is 20 millimeters here. The case has a brushed finish throughout, so I will zoom in on this. You can see it's brushed on all of its surfaces, all sides. The case back is a screw down type case back with a clear glass window so you can see that movement. Very nice. I love that. Let's talk about the dial. So we have a black dial, and this dial is pretty unique actually because there is a recessed ring here for the main hours. So you can see there's the outer ring that has the minute second markings. We have the main hours with the Arabic numerals for every single hour, and then we have a step up to the inner ring which has the military time for the afternoon hours. You can also see we have the Hamilton logo listed here below 12 o'clock. We have Khaki Automatic above 6 o'clock, and then here at the bottom it says Swiss made. Very nice. For the date, we do have a date window here. You can see it has black text on a white background. That gives it some contrast compared to the rest of the black dial. There are no applied elements on this dial anywhere, which I like applied elements, but I can understand the reason they did not apply it. This is a throwback to their military heritage. Those military watches didn't have any fancy applied emblems or features on them. Next are the hands. So the hands are called syringe style hands, so it's kind of sword-like, and then it has a needle coming off the end. You can see the inside of these hands is white. That's actually loom paint, and then there's that needle that comes off the end. The second hand is very unique. This second hand actually makes the watch for me because it's that defining feature of that red arrow. It's a different shaped hand versus the minute and hour, and then also they put that bright red touch on the pointer side of that arrow. It just stands out, and it's a really nice touch, very sporty, very dynamic, just very cool every time you look at it. Next is the glass. The Khaki applies a scratch-resistant sapphire crystal, which is very nice. It does apply a little bit of a dome shape to this glass, and the edge of the glass meets very nicely with the edge of the bezel for a very seamless look throughout the watch. Honestly, with the clarity of this glass, sometimes you can't even tell that glass is on this watch. It's that clear, and it's just a really nice touch. You have to turn the glass at an angle in order to really catch that characteristic of the sapphire. It's a really quality glass. Moving on to the bezel. So the bezel, you can see here, is a polished stainless steel. It has a slight angle, I'll call it about 30 degrees up to the sapphire crystal. Again, it's a seamless edge. It's actually a very thin bezel, which allows the dial to extend further outward, maximizing the size of the dial. That thin bezel actually dresses up this watch and makes it a little more sophisticated. Let's move on to the band. So the band applied is a stainless steel link bracelet. It has a unique split link design for the center links. I think I would prefer a more simple link, but I honestly don't mind this. It's not bad. It still has a very nice look. It has a push button deployment clasp, which is very nice. Just a very nice styled bracelet to go along with this watch. It all works together very nicely. And then let's finish up with the crown. So you can see here the crown is at the 3 o'clock position. The crown has on the outer surface a slightly domed surface. It has that Hamilton H applied there, which is a nice touch. And it has these fine teeth that are applied that catch the light basically no matter what angle you move this. It's catching the light in some way. It's a chunky style crown, but it gives it that masculinity and that tool feel that field watches are supposed to have, and that kind of rebalances this watch to prevent it from being too dressy or sophisticated. It's just a nice balance to this watch. Okay, next category is comfort. So this watch is perfectly comfortable at that 38 millimeter diameter and that 10 millimeter thickness, being that very slim profile of this watch. The watch does have a weight of 4.2 ounces or 119 grams. That's equivalent to a stack of 21 US quarters if you wanted to gather those and check that weight out. But honestly, this watch wears a lot lighter due to its slim profile, and a lot of that weight is in the bracelet also, so the weight is actually hugging close to your wrist, shaped around your wrist and not hanging off at some distance. So that's why you don't feel it really that much. So it's got a nice weight to it. I like a weight in my watch, and this one is very comfortable with that weight. The bracelet itself, as I mentioned, is adding to that weight, but no complaints there. There's no pulling of my hair or my skin with these links. The links are surprisingly fluid in this watch. If you look here, I mean, they're very fluid in this manner. So it contours very nicely to my wrist, and it's just very comfortable in that regard. The clasp itself and the overall bracelet itself is very robust. It feels very secure, so you're not going to be worrying about this watch coming off at all. And then finally, there's no issues with this watch and my cuff. So I mentioned that it's got that slim profile at only 10 millimeters. You know, it's gonna slide under your cuff very easily. But on top of that, they also made this watch so there are no edges. You know, there's no steps to catch. So this just slides really easily under the cuff, as you can see there. So there's nothing to catch on. So very, very nice comfort. moving on to the movement and accuracy. So this watch contains the Hamilton caliber H10. That's actually a modification of an ETA movement, the C07.111. The modification is actually in this rotor to add the Hamilton name here, put that Hamilton H cutout in this rotor. But the ETA C07 is actually based on the very well-known ETA 2824-2, but there are some modifications between that well-known movement and this movement in this watch. So the 2824-2, that operates at 28,800 beats per hour, or 8 beats per second, and has a 38-hour power reserve. This H10 actually reduced that escapement frequency at a reduced 21,600 beats per hour, or 6 beats per second, but it increases the power reserve to 80 hours. So you're going from 38-hour power reserve to 80 hours. I think for most of us, the 80-hour power reserve is actually more usable and a bigger benefit to us. This watch has 25 joules. It has bidirectional winding of that rotor. The accuracy for this watch is actually not disclosed by Hamilton. From what I was able to see on the internet, I would say you can expect within plus or minus 15 seconds per day accuracy. This watch that I have here is operating within plus or minus 5 seconds a day. Very good accuracy. This watch is hackable, which is very nice. So here we have it. The second hand is moving. I pull the crown all the way out. It stops. Very nice feature, and actually very characteristic of a true field watch or military watch. This watch does have hand winding, which is also a great feature. One downside to this movement is regulation is not possible by the user. So based on the construction of this movement, lasers are required to actually access and regulate this movement. So you can only regulate it by sending it into Hamilton, which is probably expensive. So that's a downside. Luckily, this watch is running accurate, so hopefully you won't even have to worry about that. Next is date change, and I will show you that now. The date change of this watch is the best I've seen in this price range, and probably even higher price ranges. How quickly and snappy that date changes over. So here we are at 11:30 p.m. You can see that date has not moved yet. At about 20 till, you're going to see that the date starts to move a little bit. So it's moving a little bit. Hasn't moved much so far, but I'm going to say on this watch, exactly at midnight, I think it's like 2 minutes till, it snaps over just like that. So let's watch that. There we are. Yeah, 2 minutes till. Very snappy and accurate date change. This movement is Swiss made, as it shows right there, and with that clear case back where you can see that heart and soul of the watch. Very cool. I love that. The next category is usability. So let's start with the hands. You can see the hands are white, which is a great contrast to the black dial. They also have that polished silver in the outline and in the needle, which just helps catch the light and helps guide your eye to the correct time. Very easy to see the time at a very quick glance with this design. Very nice. Also, you can see the needle of each of these hands goes exactly to the number or to the marker, so you get a very precise reading. For the second hand, it's got that bright red arrow that just grabs your attention every time you look at it. Lets you know the watch is working. Very easy to see the second. The precision reading of the time is top notch in this watch. You could see for the markers we have for the hours, every single hour listed in Arabic big block text. So very easy to read. You also have this inner ring of military time for the afternoon hours for those who use military time. For minutes and seconds, every 5 minutes or seconds, you can see the number is listed for easy reading. Every single minute or second has a marker, and then each minute or second is broken down into 5 parts itself. So more precision than I need for sure. One complaint I do have, and you can see it a little bit now, if you are in need of military time and you need to access these hours on the inner ring, you can see that the hour hand actually covers up the number, which is a little inconvenient. It's a very minor item, but I mean, you can still make out the time, but just a little complaint that the hand actually covers the number. For the date window, very easy to see and read with that white background, which contrasts the overall black dial. And then you have black text on that. Very easy to read. The crown, this crown's honestly the best. It's very large, easy to pull out. It's got these fine teeth, which makes it very easy to grip and turn. You can even do it with gloves. Very easy to use. In the full in position, all the way in, you spin this crown to perform the manual wind. Actually, this is convenient compared to my Alpinist. So my Alpinist has a screw-down crown. This one does not have a screw-down crown. So when you grab this watch, you can easily grab it and start winding it. You don't have to first unwind the crown or unscrew the crown before winding, which is a very small thing, but it actually makes an impact in the likelihood of me winding the watch. So it's actually very convenient to basically pick it up and start winding in one fluid motion. So that's how you wind the watch. The next position is the date window position. So you pull that out and you rotate clockwise to change the date. And then in the full out direction, you have the time change. So very easy to use there. Next is a loom. So for the loom, we have loom filling the hour and the minute hands. We also have a loom dot applied every 5 minutes or seconds all the way around the outer dial. And then nicely, inside each one of these main hour numbers is loom. It's a great design in concept, but it has poor execution, unfortunately, because the loom in these dots around the outside and in these Arabic numbers fades almost immediately. So you're just left with the hands for the hour and the minute. The second hand does not have any loom included. The final item in usability is with the bracelet. So the bracelet has a push button deployment clasp. You can see these 2 push buttons here on either side. Very solid, very secure, very robust. You can't just push one side and open that, so you need to push both sides to unlatch. For the spring bars that hold the bracelet to the lugs, there are no drilled holes in the lug to access that spring bar from the outside. So you got to do it from the inside. Hamilton provided a nice touch, nice attention to detail in the fact that they gave a little cutout window here to get in here and access that spring bar. And then link adjustment, if you need to add or remove links, very easy to do. It has these push pin links. You just have to make sure you have tools small enough to access those. But in terms of the adjustment, it's very, very simple to do. Okay, let's close with value and verdict. This is an exceptional watch. It is a great balance between dressiness and sportiness, with the dressy side coming from those handsome syringe hands, the domed sapphire glass, the thin bezel, and the overall small profile of this watch. And then you have the sporty side, which is driven from the traditional field or military dial. We have the beefy crown here. We have that stout oyster bracelet that's attached, and then that second hand with that red arrow gives it a very dynamic feel. It's a great option for a business setting, providing that dressiness that you need. to be professional, but also that air of power that you get from some of those sporty aspects. There's also a ton of versatility in this watch, almost the best that I've seen. You could, like I mentioned, wear it dressed up. You can wear it in a very casual environment as well. Throw it on with a t-shirt. You can even throw a NATO strap on here to give it a more street style or even a military style feel to it. It's such a versatile watch. And that style is backed up by that H10 Swiss-made engine inside. It's a solid movement with good accuracy and quality features like the hand winding and that hacking. It's honestly a great value at the price. The price is roughly $450. That's a great value for this watch. You get a lot in a Swiss-made timepiece. It's wonderful. However, I look at the Seiko Alpinist, which is roughly the same price today. The Alpinist is a less traditional field watch, I will say that. It doesn't have that military history. It adds some different flair to it, being designed for mountain climbers and sports enthusiasts. But the Alpinist has an unbeatable balance between elegance and masculinity that I feel no watch can meet, and it has that rock solid 6R15 movement behind it, and it's just got that standout appearance with that extremely unique dial. So I do prefer the Alpinist over this Hamilton watch. I do. You can check the notes if you're interested to look at my Alpinist review. But the Alpinist is discontinued. I will say that. So there's gonna come a point where you can't get that watch, or it's going to be so expensive that it's going to be cost prohibitive, where this is a great watch to step in and take its place. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one of these watches. So if you want this watch for yourself, follow the link listed below in the notes. It is an affiliate link, which means I do get a small commission at no additional cost to you if you follow my link. Thank you for those out there who do follow my link. And I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this watch? And do you prefer the Hamilton Khaki or the Seiko Alpinist? I want to know your opinion and the reasons why. So let me know in the comments below. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and sign up for notifications so you don't miss out on any of my future releases. And again, don't forget to check out the written review over at watchspec.com, where you could find additional photos. You could follow the link in the notes below. And with that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.